Hello everybody, Rogue Fox here, and welcome back to another episode of Endergate. This is episode 3, and last episode we were working on the starter base, also known as the tomb, because that's what we were making. Now you may immediately notice that we have this unfinished room to my left, that would be to your right, and then we have a somewhat finished room to my right, that'd be to your left. So if we take a look, that's the unfinished room, we have our enchanting room back here, and we have our storage in here. So, last episode, if you caught it, we were working on the tomb, how I wanted the base to look. So, I thought it would be kind of weird. I was kind of debating this during that episode and then the time in between of having a tomb and then having it filled with an enchanting room, uh, whatever this room is going to be, and then storage. I mean, I feel like that would have taken away from the feel of the build. So what I've decided to do was make what we made last episode, the facade, the facade, the illusion, the veil even. So that place is going to stay the same up top, just nice and empty. I still need to bring some items down because I have some chests up there from my building. But eventually I'll bring everything down into the storage below. And if you don't remember, at the end of last season, if you didn't see it, I did say that I wanted to make this world downloadable, and on top of making this world downloadable, I wanted to hide some things for you guys. So this is one of the first things I decided to do. This is kind of the secret area under the base, I guess you can say. Like I said, the base we built, the other area, the tomb, I'm getting lost in my words here, was the illusion, so we're going to keep that the way it is. And if you look right here, we do have a piston. So, I've hidden this area away for you to find. So I thought that'd be pretty fun. Now let's go ahead and get started on today's project. Now, I must give you a heads up that... Oh, okay, only one shot. You must have been burning up. This episode is going to be a little bit out of order, I think. So, I know the last episode I was running around with my map that had nothing to do with this area. And I was actually recording for this episode before I even started recording last week's episode, if that makes sense. So I knew I had a big project ahead of me, so I started working on that first, and I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do for the base. So I went ahead and started working on the project we're doing today. So I checked the clips, and I recorded that on September the 2nd. So today is the 13th. So 11 days ago, I started working on the episode for this week, which is weird. But not really, I guess. The weird part is going to be when we start working on what I want to do. So we're going to be working on the farmland today. You'll see that map reappear in my hand only because I didn't take it out of my inventory. So maybe if I didn't say anything, you probably wouldn't have caught that. But for those of you who are going to catch it, and I know some of you will, that is what's going on. So we are up on a high place. Now I want to go over my plans for this area. I was looking all around, and I thought this area would be a very good area to make some farmlands. So we have that river that's running through right there on the top side, and we also have this little pond-looking thing that almost kind of looks like a river right below it. Now, the only thing with this is that the watercolors are a bit different in color, but that's fine. So what I want to do is I want to open up this river on the left side here. So where those sugarcane are on the left side of the screen, I want to open that up with that little patch of water. Open it up into this little pond right here in the center of the screen, and then make its way up to the little pond that sticks out off to the side of the river. So we're going to turn that whole thing into a river. Now also notice that there is a 1 block high sand layer right there, so we do need to remove that as well. I'm going to make that all flat. So those are my plans for this episode, and let's see how this turns out. And here is the progress update. So as I mentioned, I was going to open up this river right here, and we turned this pond into a river bend. So I think that came out pretty good, and if you look down there, I also removed that 1 high layer of sand to make this all flat. So this left us with a little island right there that I'm going to turn into farmland. This side is also going to be farmland, so I do have to do a bit of dirt collecting. Now, in between episodes, I have been collecting quite a bit of dirt, but I have a feeling I'm going to need a lot more. Now, what I'm also thinking is I'm going to open up this a little bit more, so I'm going to make it wider to make it like a little water hole or something like that. We're not going to connect that to the river. That just wouldn't seem to make sense with the flow here. But right here, we're definitely going to turn this all into farmland. Now, at the moment, the river that we just made is only 1 block deep. So I do need to go back in there and start digging out another layer down. I want it to be at least 2 blocks deep. Welcome back, everybody. The river is now finished, and I think it turned out pretty good. There are a few details I still need to work out, such as the edges right here, so a block like this can go, just to clean it up a little bit, but overall, I am very happy with the way this turned out. If you saw in the time-lapse, one high, one deep water was not looking too good, but this definitely adds depth to our build, and I will come back eventually. We're going to add some plant life into the water. We're also going to place some lily pads up here. And then as we build up our farmland, we'll add some more plants in as well, just to give this a little bit of decoration. We just don't want it to be a plain old river like this. It does have some seagrass in there, but, you know, we're doing a custom landscape here, so I want this to look really good. Again, this is going to be our farmland, so we're going to have farmland on this side, and we're also going to have farmland on this side. So the river is all done. What I think we should do next is probably start working on this side, because I think that'll be a little bit more manageable. And already we have a drown wandering around in our river. Now that was one of my main concerns, making this 2 blocks deep. We are going to get the depth, which is a plus, but this is the negative right here. The minus is we're going to have drown. So I will have to start farming some sea pickles and lighting this area up as we build it up, because like I mentioned, I do want to have villagers populating all the areas that we build up. So right here we have, get out of my boat. I want the XP from this, so there. I got a hit, right? Oh, how did you... Again, this is going to be farmland. I saw you down there. You're not sneaky. This is going to be farmland right here. That's going to be farmland right over there. But for this episode, I don't want to bite off more than I can chew, so we'll probably just work on this. I'm not quite sure how long this is going to take. I always think it's going to take a long time, but it ends up not really taking that long. And I don't know if this is faster than switching back to my shovel. Maybe I should do my perimeter first, like that, and then I can come in with my shovel. That might be a little bit easier. So I knew this was going to be a tedious part, not only digging out all of that, but, you know, placing in dirt as well. I knew this was going to take a long time, so I was collecting dirt between episode 1 and 2, trying to get ready for this project. And I'm not quite sure if I'll even have enough. So I think I have a little bit more in the chest, but this is what I have for now. Are you trying to check out what I'm doing? Yeah, you can come take a look. Here, take a look at this too. We have the perimeter all finished, so now I can go through with my shovel and start digging all the sand out. And the nice thing about all the sand is that it's not going to go to waste, because we're building with sandstone this season, so we're going to need as much as possible. I mean, there's only so many structures that I can tear down, which is nice because that's sandstone I don't have to craft, which it's kind of like, I think it's like nether brick. So for every 4 sand, I believe, you get 1 block of sandstone, which is not the best deal. So that's why I'd rather tear down buildings. And let's see. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and dig all this out. And then I'm going to come back through and then fill all this up with dirt, and hopefully in the meantime, okay. In the meantime, this grass down here starts to spread, which would be good, because we need all this area to turn into grass, because, again, this is going to be farmland, so, yeah, we have quite a process here. This needs to all turn to dirt, and then it all needs to turn into grass, and then I can finally come in and start tilling it, and start making it look like the way I want. To help things out, what I'm going to do is place grass blocks throughout the dirt areas. That way it can start spreading. So this has already started spreading there. So I figured while I'm still digging and placing in dirt blocks, at least these areas can start to grow. So that's the idea. And I don't have that many sand or grass blocks right now. So I'm just going to pick some random areas and start placing them down. And then hopefully that starts paying off for us. Yeah, these are spreading right over here, slowly but surely. Now that the grass has grown in for the most part, I mean, there's probably a couple patches that haven't grown in, it is time for us to dig it all back up. That is right, we're about to be counterproductive so we can be productive. That makes sense, right? In Minecraft it does. It makes total sense. So our grass has grown in, and we needed that because, like I said, I'm going to do some terraforming and some landscaping, and I'm trying to think of what I want to do. For the first structure, I think I'm going to start off with a shadoof, which is an irrigation system, or part of an irrigation system. It's kind of like a well, except it was placed on the side of a river. We're going to go ahead and start building that, and I'm just trying to figure out where. I think right here, because this is kind of central in the island here. So what it is, it's going to be a counter. Can't think of the proper terms right now, but there's a weight on one end, and then a bucket hanging from a rope on the other end. So you dip it into the water, you pull it back up, and then you just pour all the water into your irrigation system, and then that goes down into your fields and everything like that. So let's go ahead and start building that. For the foundation of this, I'm thinking of using the stripped oak, only because oak planks don't seem that sturdy to me. You can just look at this and you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty sturdy. That's going to hold anything that's attached above it. At least in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to place these cobblestone walls right here. And then I believe I made this 3 high. So 1, 2, 3, 2, and 3. Like that. And then I connected this. And then it's going to extend out. And I'm definitely going to need more oak fence. And let's go ahead. I wouldn't be surprised right now if I get hit in the back. That would not surprise me at all. Okay, yeah, there you are. We have slain that drown, and I have added a couple more fences to this, so it's starting to come together. Now, on this end is going to be the weight, so what I'm thinking is maybe using some cobblestone right there. Yeah, that looks good. And then here we're going to hang down our rope, so we're going to use birch. Now, I did take this into a creative world, and when I was originally designing this, what I had done was used oak for the rope, and then that made everything turn into spruce. But overall, spruce didn't look very good with the sand and everything like that. So I decided to go with oak, and it seems to be working out so far. It blends in a lot better, especially with this lighter grass color that we have because we're in a desert. And it's actually the same color as the savanna, so that works out. That'll be an easy transition. So we have that, and then what we're going to do is place, yeah, we're going to place blocks like that. We're going to grab a hopper. This is going to be our bucket. And I totally misplaced that, didn't I? Oh boy, that was way off. And let's try this again. Take number 2. So there we go. That is our bucket, and that is clearly attached now. Yeah, I placed it right over here. I don't know how I did that. And let's go ahead and remove this. We're going to get our dirt back. Perfect. And let's go ahead and step back now. And yeah, that is looking good. I really like that. So like I said, this would be a weight. This part would dip into the water, and you bring it back up. And then you would just pour it into your irrigation system. So that's how that's going to work. So naturally, the next thing we need to do is build our irrigation system. That's going to come along back here. And I'm still trying to debate if I want it to spread out off to the sides also. It's not going to take up the whole area, but it's kind of, you know, setting the foundation for our farmland. So everything's going to be growing around our irrigation system here. And I think, what if we do... Does that look a little sturdier? That looks a little sturdier, right? And then... we'll see. We'll see. Let's take it away for now. Yeah, I think it looks like it needs a little bit more support because technically this would be the arm that goes up and down. So I think it would need something here to kind of balance that out or to rest on. That makes sense in my mind anyways. And now for the counterproductive part to be productive. We are going to dig all of this back up. And I'm going to see how far back I want to go. So this is going to be our little irrigation system here. And I've made some stairs. And the cool thing about this is we can now waterlog stairs. So it's going to look really good. So the stairs can now be underwater. And then let's go ahead and throw stairs down here. And hopefully I have my bucket. Yes, I do. Okay. And I'm thinking irrigation systems, from what I've seen, were pretty shallow. So let's go ahead. I'm going to throw slabs down here to kind of make this more shallow, because 1 block deep, we're pretty much halfway submerged in the water. So let's go ahead and of course, we're going to have to throw stairs right here. And thankfully, we have 2 left. So we can actually remove that. And we need to replace these. So this way, and this way. Now, it looks a little wide, but because this is 3 blocks wide, this would probably be best, I think. Yeah, because if I originally wanted to do 2 stairs facing each other and have a smaller stream, but it would be off-centered. So let's go ahead and throw some water there. Yeah, this is gonna take some time to fill up, isn't it? So let me go ahead and fill this up some more so you guys can get a better idea of what it is I'm trying to do here. Yeah, this is gonna take a little bit of time. And we just need to place in our last bucket of water here. This will complete our irrigation system, our little canals that we have going. And there we go. So this is all done. I'm not sure if I want to expand this further down. I'll have to think about that one. But this is the general layout right here. Again, we have the Shadoof. And I looked it up. It is a counterweight system. That's the word I was looking for, counterweight. So again, we dip the bucket down into the water. That brings it back up. And then all the water gets poured into the irrigation system, into our canal here. And then we have this little dam, and we're going to pretend that this trapdoor can actually hold water back if it's closed, even though it has 4 holes in it. We're going to use our imagination, okay? So this is opened up, which will release the water into the irrigation system here. And this was my original idea, like I said, of having it 2 blocks wide. I think that's really cool. But because of the Shadoof being 3 blocks wide, like I said, it would just be a little awkward, kind of like this blue screen that we have going right now. Awkward just like that. So yeah, that'd be awkward having it 2 blocks wide and then a 3 block wide Shadoof. Anyways, that is done. So if I plan this out correctly, we should be able to place farmland all in here. And then I try to measure it out. We would have to place a water source in here and kind of hide it. And then the same to the other side over there. So that is done. I think this is coming out really good. It is, yeah, it's filling in quite nicely. I wasn't too sure though, because the island, after placing this in, I thought the island was kind of small. But that's okay. This is kind of like the beginner first project, and of course we're going to do the same project over to this side once we finally have enough dirt to fill this area in. I'm not quite sure how much dirt I'm going to need. A lot though. Definitely a lot of dirt. Okay, a bit of a progress update. So I have placed in the farmland, as you can tell, and it has been an hour since I've placed in the original seeds, and I probably had maybe like 30 seeds, and you can tell we have quite a bit of land to fill in here. So yeah, it's taken an hour for this to grow. I haven't had some bone meal, so I pretty much used up all the bones that I had in my storage to grow the wheat and then get their seeds and then to replant them. But you can tell we still have this whole area right here to do. We have a patch in the back right there, but it is coming along. So you can get a better idea. There's our irrigation system we just made, and then that's going to be watering all of our farmland here. And then in the meantime, since it's been an hour, I've been doing some decorating. We have a fence in here with our stripped oak logs. We have some coarse dirt placed along here, some grass, some bushes that we made, And eventually, I do want to make palm trees. I'm going to have to go into a creative world and learn how to do that real quick. But I also want to use jungle leaves. So I think I might hold off on that for now. But you can see here we have our coarse dirt, and then I made path blocks on the edges just to kind of give it that wet feel because it is right along the river here. So this is wet. Originally I was going to go with the farmland, but it just didn't blend too well with all the terraforming and landscaping that I wanted to do. We have sugarcane here, and then on the other side, you can see we got some life going here because, you know, it's along the river. So, of course, anything along the river is going to have some plant life going. So that's exactly what I was shooting for here. So I think this is coming together quite nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and wait, and hopefully I can get all this area filled in before we end the episode. And after an hour and a half, or an hour and 45 minutes, somewhere around there, I finally got all of the seeds planted in, so there is now no empty spots in the tilled ground over here. So this is all filled in, everything has been growing, as you can tell, and everything is looking really good. I mean, it may not look like much, but remember we started this episode with a sand island, and then we turned it all into dirt. We had to wait for that dirt to turn into grass, and then we tore it all back up, tilled it, planted these seeds, and yeah, it was quite a process. And now I'm kind of worried about turning this whole area into farmland as well because of just how long this little area took. I'm definitely going to have to do a little area at a time. I'm going to have to like break it off into sections. That would probably make it more manageable so I don't go crazy trying to do it. And of course, we are going to have other projects throughout this season. So another reason for us to work on this in segments. So we do have some empty spaces. We have one over there. Not quite sure what I want to do with that. And you can see right behind me, I do have another empty spot back here. So what I'm thinking is having a little farming house over here, a little farming shack. This is where, once we eventually get villagers here, this would kind of be where their home is. And these are the people that will be taking care of the farmland. And of course, we'll have some more spread out as time goes along. But I think we're going to stop here for today. We made a lot of progress. I'm really happy with it. And with that being said, everyone, this is the end of our episode. Oop, that was my booty. Booty, booty, booty. I really hope you guys enjoyed. This has been Rogue Fox, and I'm out. I'll see you later.